Assalamu alaikum, my Muslim brothers worldwide. I am your host Saad Riazuddin, and I am grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to have a very special guest with us today. It's none other than Mr. Samir, and Mr. Samir has recently thought of this really good idea for all of us, mashallah. Um, Assalamu alaikum, brother Samir.
Walaikum salam to everyone. This is Samir Sarmast from Samir's Eats. Thanks for having me here. Um, it's a great pleasure to know that we have the youth working on such projects as the Muslim Voice and many others. So I'm glad to be here and enlighten you with whatever I can regarding halal food and halal restaurants.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Brother Samir, I'd just like to say that, mashallah, that your idea is really creative, and it's probably helped a lot of brothers worldwide as because I haven't seen any other person doing this, basically going around in restaurants and recording themselves live and recommending what restaurants good for them, and it basically really gives us a good visual evidence of what's restaurant is really good to eat at. So let's get first. In the interview first, I'd like to ask you is what inspired you to make this show?
Yeah, so what inspired me to make the show? Well, I have to say, first of all, you have to love food, right? So that's
Yeah,
one
definitely.
thing, okay? So I love food and I love eating, and I only eat the biha halal, alhamdulillah. So that's really what inspired me to, go out and check out the halal restaurants. The other inspiration who I use as a source is Zabiha.com. Zabiha.com is a guide I use um, to go out to the latest and obviously the top halal restaurants. Now, I don't really, necessarily, many people have different opinions of what a top halal restaurant is. To you, a top halal restaurant could be something, to me, it's not really a top restaurant. But here's what I base that on. It's on the quality of food, obviously, the quality of service, and the cleanliness of the place, and obviously, under the service, the staff, a friendly staff, So that's one of those are what my inspirations are, and ultimately it's really Zabiha.com where I go to as my guide. I've been going to that website for the last 10 years, and one of the things that I notice is, hey, it's great. We got ratings, we got different, opinions from the people that have been to the restaurant. What about a visual for this restaurant? We don't know what the place looks like. Let's be honest. There's some restaurants that may have amazing food, mashallah, but you know what? The place is not the ideal place to take your family or your sister or your mother. So it's one of the things that I wanted to go out there and bring the restaurant to you, to all the viewers. So last night I was with Shahid Amanullah, who's the CEO of Zabiha.com, Halal Fire Inc., halalfire.com. So I had this very discussion with him, and he's obviously knows about my obviously Samir's Eats, and he's been linking my videos to his website, so you could even check them out on there.
Oh, nice,
So
mashallah, mashallah.
yeah, so that's pretty much it. So.
Oh, okay. All right, yeah. So that's really cool, actually, mashallah. How'd you get in contact with the CEO?
Well, I met him at a conference, and I mean, people have talked about me to him. They've piqued his ear about, there's a guy, Samir, he goes around to the restaurant. So he's kind of like knows that I've been out there, but we never actually met face to face until actually this last conference at the AMCC, the American Muslim Consumer Conference, which was held here in New Brunswick, New Jersey. I had a
Oh,
chance
I
to
see.
bump into him and we exchange information there. And you know, Shahid Masha is a great guy. He has a lot of great ideas. Zabiya.com is has been a 10-year project, you know, where now I mean he's international. So he just told me yesterday that he's added 200 restaurants out in the Asian market. So I mean
Wow,
that's
wow,
big. Yeah.
wow, mashallah, mashallah.
Singapore is his biggest, let's just say his biggest market out there. So,
Oh, I see, I see.
but you know, obviously we have a lot of restaurants, so it's a great source. You know, and he also has Salatomatic, which gives you the most salads in the area. So,
Oh, I see.
but you know, we got to meet and talk, and you know, we have something in common. So that's it. And we had a sit down yesterday. I was in Washington D.C. and although we talked about some of our ideas and our visions for each of our companies. So
Nice, mashallah, mashallah. So, so the next question is, that I wanted to ask you was, what was the best restaurant you've been to and why?
the best restaurant that I've been to is Kebab Paradise, in my opinion.
Yeah, I've been there too.
Especially,
Yeah,
yeah. Well,
it's
look
good.
around this area. I have to say, I mean, and that's a difficult question for me to answer because it's not that, you know, there's other restaurants that I don't like. I have a lot of best restaurants, but if I had to nail it down to home and just because of the convenience of where I'm at, it has to be Kebab Paradise. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
let's just say I go to West Coast. I mean, there's restaurants out there that are my favorite as well. So there's a group of favorite restaurants, but Kebab Paradise has to be my number one spot, only based on, you know, obviously the quality, like I mentioned, the service, you know, they're clean people, and like I said, you want to keep coming back there. You don't. The thing is, you don't have anything like it. So.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, definitely.
they just stand out, and which is why they've been blessed with a second location, you know. So,
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
mashallah, they've done that.
Yeah, mashallah, mashallah.
So
And
shout out to Kebab Paradise.
yeah, yeah. So, the next question I wanted to ask you was, what, what are your top next places to eat and record at?
Well, the thing is, I actually have now. I have episodes filmed. They just haven't been released. So,
Oh, I see.
where I'm gonna go record at, that will remain a mystery. But let's just say I'll give you the geographic location is gonna be the Midwest,
Oh, okay.
specifically Michigan and Chicago. But I haven't really picked out, you know, where. I mean, I have for Michigan. I mean, I'll put it out there. Famous Burger is where I want to go. So, Chicago is going to be, you know, I have a spot in mind, but I've actually a few spots since Chicago is a hot spot for halal food. So it's I'm going to leave that